another edition of the Sewing Guru, and for this particular episode I'm going to show you how to attach the concealed zip into a pair of trousers. Now, as you know from the previous videos, I am putting my concealed zip in the side seam of the trousers, but if you're going to be putting it in the front, the procedure is exactly the same as what I'm going to do for the side. Now, as you can see from before, I attached these panels, the side seams, together, leaving a gap. So that's what you need to do with your front panels if you haven't done so already. So, for instance, I have here my front panel, and this is the front panel as well. And you need to attach the two front panels along the front seam here in the same way that I did it for the side seam. So you're measuring your zip from the top and you are attaching it to about here, leaving a slight gap so that you can attach the zip in. So you need to be attaching it down here so far, but try also leave a gap at the bottom of the seam here as well, okay? Because when this gap is left, it will come apparent later on when you attach all of your trouser panels together. So you must leave a gap here. So what I would do is I would cut down the zip for the front panels, okay? So for instance, instead of having an entire length zip, I would cut it down so that your zip would be, say, this length, ideally on the straight part of the panel before it starts to curve. So you would start stitching here, leaving the gap for your zip to go in, stitch down, but also leave a gap at the bottom of the panel as well, ready for when you attach it to the crotch part of the trousers. Okay, so you need to attach those panels first of all. Now, because I've already attached my panels, we can go on from that point from here. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to open the trouser panels up and be looking at the correct side, not the wrong side. You'd be looking at the right side. Okay, now obviously the zip is going to be attached like so. So you'd see the right side of the zip and the right side of the trouser panel. Simply just attach the zip, open the zip up like so, and attach it onto the side panel. But you need to be attaching it from the top. So you've got this part here where the zip closure or the zip stopper is about 1 centimetre in. You need to attach the zip right to the top like so. Okay, so just position that on the edge of the panel, put a pin there, and put another pin here, but this needs to lie exactly on the panels, and put another pin here as well, like so, and we need to attach that on the other side as well. Okay, so if I just turn this around, it's just easier for me to pin this, to be honest with you, and again attach this side on as well. Put a pin there and another pin here and another one towards the end of the zip itself, like so. And then when you've done that, open up your panels like so, and your zip should just lie in correctly without any distortion at all. The zip just wants to sit and lie where it wants to lie without any distortion. If there was distortion, it would look like this, where the zip would be pulling the fabric in. But because we've just laid the fabric just nicely on the zip like so, there is absolutely no pulling at all, and that's correct. So the next part, we're going to take this over to the sewing machine and we're going to be stitching this zip in place. Okay, so we're now at the sewing machine, and the first thing what we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting on the correct foot for the job. So in this case, I'm going to be putting a zipper foot. So we're just going to exchange that from the standard zigzag foot to the zipper foot. And of course I need to then just position the needle to the side where we're going to be putting the zip in. So in my case it's going to be onto the left hand side of the foot itself. And we're just going to start off by attaching the zip onto the side seam of the trouser. Okay, now make sure if the zip is open you need to just close the coil all the way. And I do not knot or back tack the start of the stitches, because these stitches are just a guide and they're just holding the zip in place for when we do the stitches with the concealed zip foot. Okay, so these stitches are just to hold our zip in place. So as we go, I can just take the pins out and we're just stitching right along the side seam where we positioned our zip, right along. Okay, make sure the slider is out of the way when we're doing this. Now when you reach the top, to get around the slider you just need to lift the foot up out of the way, make sure the needle is still in the cloth, and just move the slider out of the way so that the zipper is open, and that way you can get around the slider coil, because there's a lot of bulk there you see with the slider. Okay, so just attach that right to the top, and now we can just back tack and knot the fabric in place. So we're just going to cut those threads, and we're now going to attach the other side. So we're just going to just knot those stitches in place and go right down the other side of the coil, like so, making sure that everything's nice and flat, nothing's distorted, and it's all lying exactly where it wants to lie. So again, we're reaching now the point where the slider's going to be. We just need to just lift the foot up, slide the slider out of the way like so, and just keep going. Just take that final pin out of the way. Keep going until you reach the bottom of the zip itself, but again, do not knot the stitches by back tacking. Okay, just lift the foot up, take these stitches out of the way and cut the threads so that you're ending up with threads like this, and that's the correct way. Okay, so I'm going to take this back over now to the ironing board, and we're going to get this zip ready now to attach it with the concealed zip foot. Okay, so we've attached the zipper in place, and if I open up this where the zipper is, as you can see there's absolutely no distortion and it's very smooth when the zip is closed. Okay, and there's no puckering and it just wants to lie where it wants to lie. Okay, so now that we've checked that, that is perfect, that's correct. So we're now going to go on to the next stage, where we're going to be attaching this zip with the concealed zip foot. Okay, so we're going to take this back over to the sewing machine and we're going to attach this now properly with the concealed zipper foot.